It's been over a month since he arrived on this god's-forsaken planet. He started to adapt, and for the first time the little stone shelter he calls the castle almost feels safe. But this still isn't home. Not yet, and like every great fortress, it all begins with stone, timber, and one stubborn referee refusing to give up. And with some work done, as you see, we have a bunch of building materials stockpiled all the way here. It's really about time to build further, isn't it? So, what do we need first? Is to move our productions, but I think I might reconsider that stuff because, I actually about to run pulling strategy this time instead of pushing strategy. Where's the difference, you might ask? So, basically, pushing strategy means that you're producing, for example, nails in this building and transferring them directly here because that's our production that uses nails, which quite inefficient way to do things because you end up with nails and all other stuff laying all around your productions, and it's typically waste of resources because you need nails for something else. You never know that you can find them here or somewhere else. What I want to do instead is to store everything near its production, which means all the nails in this case shall be stored here. But in this case, keeping everything in separate buildings is not a great idea because the idea is that your production is always clean, and when you need to do something, you see that you need leather, refined wood, copper nails, and rope. And basically, you should run over all the storages and find exactly those resources to kinda make them happen and make that stuff created. Teaching, though, gonna remain different, gonna remain separated building. For these two, I probably wanna mash them together and maybe even extend a little bit more just because I wanna have something that gonna be useful. And saying useful, I mean, how much is that? 2 blocks, 1, 2, basically 5. So 5 by 5 production gonna be just perfect for our needs, which means we're gonna do that instead. This zone, hold this zone, I wanna kind of demolish to the surface because they're gonna be our storage. I really like how it looks when all our materials stockpiled like that, but they take a bunch of space, and these narrow walkthroughs are not quite useful and not quite nice. So that stuff gonna go away, which means our home shall be put somewhere else. And I thought I might put it right there. To do this, I obviously need to move that guy somewhere and something like that. Anyways, let's start from merging these two and extending them there. So we need to put something like 3 layers more because we have 2 already. Let's do all that. And also... Ooh, that's not good. That's not great, so we're gonna provide a bit more support for all of them. But on the corners, I wanna use these pieces and try to cover it like this, and then obviously change those corners also. But that's gonna be completely different story. For now, we need to just seal everything here. And now we should be ready to cover it with walls. So we have a big window there, and that means we shall be able to go with the same exact window here. So something like that. In this case, we're gonna run standard window, and something like that. And now we're looking for this wall. Oopsie daisy. Not this one, but rather that one. Oh, yep, in this orientation, like that. Here we go, standard window, and a few closed walls, like this and like that. For this position, though, we need a different wall by the look of it. Okie dokie. Now, those windows shall not be here. They should be moved and reused somewhere here. How many windows we need? 3, 5, 7. 7 more windows. Roger, roger. Maybe they should be in that stuff. Yeah, exactly. Here it is. Oh, and we have also a bunch of those pieces. That's an interesting one. Alright. Let's put those walls. Just... and we don't have a wall with window, yeah? Just like this and just like that. That's gonna be nice. Now, for roof pieces, those two might go here. These two might go there. We missing like 3 just standard ones and 2 these strange ones. Okie dokie. Alright, 3 standard ones, and I obviously want roof pieces. Like that. And 2 strange ones. Now we need to find the right form. It's probably... yeah, should be this one. And that one. Nice. Now we just need to cover that thing, which we gonna start from dismantling this one. Okay. We're gonna have a bunch of flat roof, which might be a little bit of a problem in terms of support, so we're gonna need more beams. But at the end of the day, it should be more than alright. Should be more than alright. Okay. So those two gonna go with us. And we're gonna put them directly like this. Yeah, we're missing support already. Okay. Gonna solve that later on. Ooh, actually, we should rebuild this, because from now on our entrance gonna be right here. Right like in this position. Which means those guys shall go away. And these two also, because we're gonna put them in a different position. And say different position, I mean something like that and something like this. This thing shall be replaced with those corners. So we need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 6 corners. Yeah. We need 6 corners and 1 standard slope piece. Okay, let's close those ones first. That was this guy, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it should be this guy, but yeah, exactly. We need to replace the walls first. And unfortunately, we have replaced those walls also. So what we're gonna do first is place 2 of those. Not in this orientation, but where is that standard stuff on the floor? Yeah. Come on, something like that and something like this to be able to put a wall. Now we shall put a wall like that. Nice, and now we should be able to cover it with roof like this. Just magnificent. Here, though, we have to play a little bit silly, because... you know what, never mind, we're gonna replace it anyways. So I'm gonna do something like that. Everything falls down, that's expected. This guy gonna go here temporarily. We need to grab that piece back. Told ya, we need a place to store those resources. because they looks funny, but they doesn't work as expected. Should be put like that, and now like this. Nice one. Wall just like that, and the corner piece on the roof just like this. Nice. The last piece here is to put that guy and cover everything. We gonna watch our indicators close because you see it's yellow already and now it's red. It kinda holds, but not that great. So let's put our support. If I'm not mistaken, we have it there, which means from this position we shall go like this. And we have another one right here. And that one. Is it better already? Yeah, it is better already. But we need to learn where we put the rest of those columns. Aha, it's right here on the middle. And right there. Okay, that's a good one. Oh, a bunch of wood. I hope it's gonna be alright. So it was here. We need a standard one. And there. And now it's time to go these guys. Like that. And come on. Could you please turn it in a correct destination? Let's simplify process for it and do something like that. Okay, that shall do the trick for us. Now we can remove all these bits and pieces. Those walls should be rebuilt also, because we now need windows in the middle instead of what we have right now. But first I wanna close these things, so we need like 5. Okay, with that stuff covered, we can now finally work on interior. And I grab some windows with me, because we obviously wanna close everything. And we have even more that we need, which is a huge surprise. Okay, so we need to rebuild those two guys in a manner with standard windows, like that and like this. And put our windows in. Also, we need to rebuild these two. Actually, these windows looks not bad in this direction, but, you know, I wanna keep it real. And the final piece. Yeah, all our windows in place. We are good, we are sealed. What's that? That's window. And that's a door. Guess what? We've got even more windows than I expected. Here we're gonna use that sign, workshop. I could name it sweet shop or sweatshop, but you know, that's not exactly what we're looking for. And for icon, I wanna use something like that. Somehow that reminds me about production. Nice. With that done, what we gonna do? We gonna reorganize everything here. So this guy gonna go near that window. That's gonna be its place. Yeah, right in the middle, like that. Because now we need to move our glass working bench, which gonna live right there. Now for our iron production, I wanna keep it a lot further from everything, kinda separate. So I think for iron production, we're gonna use this corner, which means that guy should go right here, and I wanna keep it as close to the wall as possible, because it kinda can blend in and looks pretty natural. It doesn't stick here. It doesn't. Nice. Which should live right in this position. Why here? Because it should be close to entrance, because ores are typically pretty heavy. Okay, now we have a bunch of stuff in our inventory. Is that stuff? Yeah, this guy is empty, which is nice. So, how we gonna organize our storage? I think that we gonna go in... wait a second. I should see... can I... I don't have my repair stuff. That's not good, that's not helpful. Now you're probably wondering why I need it, because I wanna see where our cells are. So, this stuff should be exactly the position for that guy. It shall go like that, because we're gonna have 2 rows by 2 of those. And here we need 1 more, which means we're gonna order it. Here gonna go all our basic metals. Yeah, something like that. This guy gonna take all our precious metals. And the next one gonna take all our, let's say, advanced metals. So now when we look at it, we knew that here is our standard metals, basic metals, here is our gold and other precious metals, and here is our advanced metals, which is nice. While this one we can use for glass. Just like that. It's not too bright though, but that's fine. Now it's time to move both of those guys. Of course, as you might imagine, I don't like to put it on the floor or like that. By the way, I believe we had something better. Something better on tier 3. You might see that tier 4 is available for us already, but we're not gonna go there. And the reason is... I like this place as it is right now, and I don't wanna spoil this feeling of a medieval village or medieval castle, something like that. I don't wanna spoil it with new technologies, so I'm gonna limit myself to tier 3 for now. I believe that's the stuff we're looking for. That's the stuff we're looking for as a replacement for that thing. So what do we need is steel ingots, and then we're gonna find the right position for it. He's gonna take a great place right here in the middle, because he's the main guy in all this workshop. So he should work like that. And then we're gonna extend for 1 more cell of storage, and I'm gonna sort everything from here into those storages. And here we go. Those are in place. Isn't that great? Alright, now it's about time for us to produce like 20 of steel bloom. Actually, we can use this one. Why not? And while it's producing, it's time to move our sewing machine right here. The other stuff we have here is this fuel production. I don't think that I'm gonna put it inside there, because firstly, it can survive outside, believe me, I checked. And secondly, it's kinda doesn't fit to that style. Okay, sewing machine should go closer to this corner with all that stuff inside. For our living room, I don't think that it should be kinda too easily accessible, because that firstly makes no sense. We need to go there only once a day for sleep. And secondly, to be honest, I'd like to keep it interesting. And to keep it interesting, let me see what building pieces we can afford. We can afford advanced masonry bench. Why didn't I open it earlier? Alright, that's a good one. Stone brick building set. Or clay brick building set, but I haven't seen any clay around. Concrete, I don't think that's gonna match. Scoria, beautiful one. But I haven't seen that material either. Limestone. Looks kinda white. Alright, let's go with this one for now. Stone brick building diagonal set. Can we afford having both of them? Yep, we can. Nice. Small clay brick and what's that? Stone brick fireplace. Of course, I wanted to replace that stuff, especially if we're going to go on all stone bricks. Okay, let's see on our masonry. Advanced masonry, we missing just a bit of stone and iron nails. Shouldn't be a big deal. That's gonna do all the trick for us. Now let's grab everything from here and replace that little abomination with something more sufficient. Yeah, something like that. I hope that's the last day that I have to sleep in this place. As a floor pieces, I think we're gonna use our standard... Or not. Wait a second. Can't I produce a bit of those? Not laying. In this case, it's mostly placing. In this case, it's gonna... It looks like... Yeah, I just pressed X trying to put this stuff. Trying to fly as in Space Engineers. Yeah. I'm a silly bastard. Yeah, we're gonna need a bunch more of those. Because, you see, that's just a part of it. It shall go further here, and we need like 6 more for that. So we need 9. Okie dokie. So what I did temporarily is put our old masonry right here to keep this running for bricks, while this one gonna produce stuff for us, and we're short by iron nails. Alright, we hopefully have everything we need. So it's gonna go like that. This guy gonna go like this, and we finally can finish that. Come on. Yeah, here we go. 2 by 3. Nice. Now we need floor pieces. Oh my bloody goodness. Okie dokie. While it's working there, we should be good for a windmill. We're running low on stone also. My goodness. It looks like that project with stone bricks gonna cost me a fortune. Now we just need to find the right place for it. Come on. Something like that. How big is that? Ooh. It's really big, you know? Some floor pieces left somewhere. No? No, that's not good. Oh, by the way, those 4 are ready. So let's put them and see how they look. We're gonna put them right here inside. Not like that, though. Yeah, something like that and something like this. Oh, and we need not 4, we need 8. Oh my bloody goodness. Yeah, they look real nice, but we need just not even 8. We need 6 more, because these walls gonna be also... Actually, I don't think that we need outer pieces of this material. We can go cheap bastards and kinda pieces, and we finally can do something like that. Come on. Yeah, something like this. And something like that, which shall allow us to put this guy in a right position. Come on. Come on. What prevents you? Yeah. Something like that. So now we need 4 floor pieces and then a bunch of walls. Oh, that's gonna be painful. That's gonna be painful. I can feel it already. I can feel that pain, guys. We might put it right here. Yeah, just like that. Devices turned off. Cannot be sheltered out. Okay, it's not sheltered out. I hope now you're happy. And since we've got all our outside productions here, I'm gonna put it right near them. Why not? Looks like a nice oopsie daisy. Like a nice spot. Smoker. You know what? I want a smoker. I want to have smoker because we can produce a bunch more interesting things there, I believe. And I remember that stuff. That we need to produce a contact device. And let's see. It should be in tier 2, I believe. Contact device. And what do we need for it? Because it feels important, you know? T0, like that. Nice. Where I wanna put it, I don't know yet. No, putting not full stack there is not a great idea. Because on the one hand, I'd like to... Actually, why not? It looks like a good position for it. Because it feels like missions are pretty important here. And it's gonna live right here in the middle. Mission complete. Look at that. We're good boys. Okay, and what's next? Operations. Okay, what is this operation? Difficulty, not that bad. It's gonna give us... Ooh, it's gonna give us some interesting seeds. I seen those in recipes. Recipes, basically. So, yeah. Key. Flare gun and some stuff. I don't think that I'm gonna do that right now. Because, if I'm not mistaken, flare gun... Where it is? Flare gun should be... Oh, that's a flare arrow. Okay. Huh. Interesting one. Flare gun. Yep, here it is. It's actually not that pricey, to be honest. But we don't have points for it anyways. So let's back to our business. Probably next time we're gonna finish that mission. Alright, and now we should be ready to put those walls. Like this, like that, and we need one more and 2 more floor pieces. Let me use all the stone that we currently have to produce more of those bloody bricks. You know what? I think for a little bit and decided that it's gonna be a thoughtful decision to go just grab some stone. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. That's quite an evening already, but we finally have our bits and pieces. 2 gonna go right here. And the last one gonna be our wall there. So now what we're missing? We're missing 4 slope pieces and 4 more corners like that. And that's brick stuff. Oh, and we need 4 of those also. We're so close. I don't want to believe that we'll not be able to do that today. I want to sleep in a new nice home. By the way, what's gonna be a thoughtful decision is to put windows in. So let's grab those, let's grab these, and let's grab these 2. So how much of it we're missing? Something around 38 to be honest. Yep, let's do 38. That's gonna take a bit. But anyways, and we missing only 2 pieces here, which is just great. Now our windows, And we shall have a door somewhere, don't we? And a door. And then we finally should be ready to move everything in. Shoot. Of course we need some heat source. And now stone brick fireplace. 100? Oh, chuck. And that stuff will require 30. Okay. So 130 it is. At least we have a roof now, and we can afford having a nice bed. I'm sure I'm not gonna sleep on that bed. We need something fancy. What is that? Curved wood bed, exactly. So for our bed, I wanna use this place. Right in the middle. Wardrobe gonna go right there. While nightstand should be put near the bed. Something like that. Gonna be nice. It's a perfect target for your little finger on a leg. Yeah, I know, but okay, that stuff should be placed like this, and our seat gonna be right in front of it, like that. Can I take it? Look at that! We finally can have our breakfasts as a real human, not as a bloody animal. And would you look at that? It don't wanna stick where it belongs. Which means we're gonna rebuild one of our walls in a standard option. I can't say that I'm too happy about that, but we have no other options. We need our fireplace right here, and its cup gonna go there. Nice. Look at that beauty. Okie dokie. Time to fuel it up. And by the way, while we are waiting, I actually collected, rescued all the wood from the bottom of the bloody lake. So we can put it inside. Oh my goodness, it's so bloody beautiful. Rather dark though. Now, when we moved everything outside, we can dismantle this place completely. Well, with that place cleaned, we actually can finally finalize our sweet yard here, can't we? First things first, I wanna move this guy somewhere because it's kinda on our way. Here in a corner might be a good position for it. Let's try that and move it later on if needed. Now I wanna make it a real place that I'm gonna have the same bracket on the other side later on, because here we're gonna store our wood, and on the opposite side we're gonna start our... Let me turn our light, and our light is run out of fuel. On the opposite side we're gonna store all our stone, which is gonna be nice. And let me actually move all our wood to show you how it will look. Something like that. Something like that. We can store all our resources. Wood on this side and stone on that side later on. This way we can move all around without any problems and have easy access to all our resources. Here, though, I wanna put a bunch of crates like that. It's a cupboard, actually, whatever. To store some raw resources like skin, like all other things, like all these guano stuff, exotics, and stuff like that. And what I learned, as you see, it shows that it's sheltered, so it's not going to be affected by the weather. And this was achieved by just a wall, some ceiling, and this half wall, which gives us access to cupboards while keep them in shelter. Also, I kinda wanna extend our house a little bit. I wanna make it a little bit... Oof, this wall put incorrectly. I wanna move it a little bit wider, because I don't like that tight space that we got here. But that's a problem of the next day. Now it's time to have some lunch. Fire up our light and get into the bed. Now it's time to extend our home, and I prepared some bits and pieces for it, so let's put them down. Here we go. Nice. Now we kinda need to move everything from that side, and now with all the fragile sides, fragile things out of our way, it's time to demolish the half of our home. Kinda extend it. We're gonna use these pieces, we're gonna use these pieces. And we need to lay down our floor first. Something like that and something like this. Now, time for these guys. I just seen you like that, and like this. Now let's add a few more of those. Our walls, and finally the roof pieces. Now let's put the rest of our walls as it was before. For these ones, I'm gonna go with the closed walls, just because I wanna put that stuff in. What's that? Oh, that's our bed. Okay. Now let's finalize the roof. All the way like this, and we're missing few bits and pieces. That's not ideal. Unfortunately, we have only one right piece. So the next one gonna be cheap for now, simply because I don't have resources. That looks quite strange right there. That shadow, you see? Anyways, we're gonna move this guy first, because its correct position is actually somewhere there. With the tube cap and with the fuel. Now we can put our bed back, and now we have much more space to do that properly, as well as for our wardrobe. Windows, of course. And finally our table with a nice sofa that we're gonna put on a slight angle, like that. Yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better. Instantly. That's the home that I deserve, let's say. And that's gonna be it for today. Later on, I'm gonna finish all that. And also, we shall start thinking about outer walls, about real protection for our home. Also, I wanna make solid foundation along all the base, just to make it less initial style, and make it solid. This place near our yard probably gonna be our pool, indoor pool. And with all that out of the way, see you next time, guys.